going to be talking about the autopsy report of the Haley Payton. So, those of you um, that are new, welcome to the channel. My name is Rebecca. I talk about true crime stories, mostly about missing people, but some other type of cases, historical, local, international, name it. I will talk about it. But if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's free, doesn't cost anything, and it just gets the story out there for somebody else who might have the information that the police need. So, and if you have come back to the channel, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. So let's get to this. So Haley was a 22-year-old woman from South Carolina that traveled to Charlotte, North Carolina back in November to celebrate her birthday with her boyfriend. Now, they had a whole weekend planned, but that didn't work out this way. Now, there are stories about on both sides of this about who caused whatever ruckus that started to get to Haley in a very precarious situation. And one story was she walked in and caught him with another woman or talking to another woman on the phone. And the other version of it is he walked in and caught her texting other men on the phone. I'm not sure which is the accurate one. But there is a 911 call that she made from a store saying that she had just gotten beat the heck up by her boyfriend and another woman. So now to Haley and this guy, they have a child together. She had actually given birth a few months earlier to a daughter. And, they were just getting her out, celebrate her birthday out of town. Well, after this altercation, he left with this other woman and left her there in Charlotte, where she knew no one, had no way of getting back to South Carolina, just left her there. Now, there are reports that she was seen at other places, trying to get help. After her altercation with the boyfriend, she did go to the hospital. It is said that she was treated for postpartum depression prior to all this, but she was also being treated for some type of mental psychosis while at the hospital. Because if you hear her on the phone when she's calling 911, she's beyond upset, but it also just gives an air of something else going on. So on November 20th, nobody hears from her again. Now, she did call her parents. She did talk to them and say, hey, he left me. I have no way of getting back there. And they couldn't go get her because they didn't have a working vehicle. But she said, no, I've called my best friend. They're coming to get me. And then you come to find out they talked to the best friend. Best friend never got a phone call. Nothing. So, hello. Yeah. So those of you that are just now joining in, I am talking about Haley Payton, the 22-year-old South Carolina woman that was found dead in a park in Charlotte, North Carolina, that was missing for about 2 weeks. And it is very sad. So boyfriend leaves, takes this woman, leaves, goes back to South Carolina, leaves her there in Charlotte. Harry Butcher, I'm giving you a shout out. Okay. So boyfriend leaves, takes another woman, goes back to South Carolina, leaves her alone. On November 20th, that is the last contact anybody has with her. And her story made the paper, and people were like looking for her and everything else. And it is not until December 9th, so you're talking roughly almost 3 weeks, her body is found in the Sugar Creek Greenway Park, or Pearl Park, actually, in Charlotte, and it's found in a creek bed. And the cause of death, per the medical examiner for North Carolina, is hypothermia. And I'm like, how the heck does that happen? How does she go missing for almost 3 weeks and you're going to diagnose it, saying that she died of hypothermia? I thought it was weird. So I requested the autopsy report, which I just got. And it does say on there that it was hypothermia and that she had some dark spots on her abdomen. And they said it's also common with hypothermia. And I'm reading through the list, and they find that she had, what was it? Romazolam in her system, but not a lethal level. Now, bromazolam is known as street benzo. So it's not something that's prescribed. It is something you can only get on the street now, but it's something along the lines of like Valium, that kind of thing. It's used to treat anxiety. So she had that in her system, but didn't kill her. So she was high at the time of her death. And I go further down the report and I see, what items she had with her. And the only thing she had clothing wise was a bra. So she was nude, except for a bra, in that park. And I'm like, how does that even happen? Because I mean, I've been racking my brain trying to think, okay, somebody had to hurt her and put her there. There's no way on earth that this woman is going to like walk around in the middle of November naked in a park in Charlotte. It's still cold. And I've been racking my brain about this for a few days. And then yesterday, I'm listening to this podcast by a guy named Ken LaCourte. And he's talking about naked freakouts. People like freak out, start taking their clothes off in public, on airplanes and all that other stuff. And he talks about a situation called paradoxical undressing. Paradoxical undressing, yes, this is a real thing. So paradoxical undressing comes into play when you are in severe hypothermia and your brain is convinced that it's warm and you are so warm you think you're hot and you start taking your clothes off. And it could be like -20 outside, but you think you're on a beach somewhere and you just take your clothes off. This is what paradoxical undressing is. And it happens in about 50% of hypothermia cases. So for me, boyfriend abandoned her, family couldn't get her. She's freaking out. She's going to businesses. She's high. She's all these things. I think, personally, I think she got beat up by the boyfriend, which he needs to be found and charged. I think she had a mental breakdown, went out, found something to help deal with what she was dealing with, hence the street benzos. And because she didn't have the proper clothing or she didn't have her stuff, she became hypothermic, took her clothes off, and that's ultimately what killed her. That's what I think happened. Now, who do I think is to blame? Oh, the boyfriend all the way. He never should have left her in a city where she didn't know anybody. Like, you just don't do that. You take somebody somewhere, you bring them back. You don't leave them. So I think he's to blame for the whole case. But I don't think anything else outside of him leaving her there, anything else nefarious happened to her. I think, unfortunately, she got high and she just didn't realize she was getting that cold. And it's a shame because she left behind a newborn to go to Charlotte to celebrate her birthday, and now that child doesn't have a mother anymore. But yeah, but that's my thought on what happened to Haley Payton, because there's just, her family's convinced somebody hurt her and put her there, and I don't think somebody hurt her and put her there. I think somebody hurt her and left her there. Left her in Charlotte to her own demise. But that's what I think happened. It's so sad. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, seemed like just full of life, and now cut down in her prime because she and some dude got into it. Very, very sad. So that's all I have for tonight on to Haley Payton, because it was really about the autopsy report. Because people were like, there's no way it was hypothermia, but reading through the report and now knowing about paradoxical undressing, it all makes sense. It all pulls it together. So, but that's my thought. So this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. I'm going to head out. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. And also like, comment, and share, please. And I always say, be weird, be rude, be safe, because when you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I guarantee it. So good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And like I said, share, comment, like, and subscribe.